Ladies and gentlemen, at the time of recording this video, Tesla stock is up about 1.5% today, a relatively strong day for certain stocks like Tesla, certain AI stocks for sure. Here in this video, I will share with you all of your breaking news. In fact, Nvidia's CEO Jensen Huang had some huge things to say about Tesla and really paints the picture that Tesla is the company that will be successful in large-scale humanoid robotics. There's a lot of people out there that say, oh, Boston Dynamics and these startups are going to be successful as well. But Jensen Huang doesn't really put it that way. He says that it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity for Tesla. As always, we will cover the broader market news and some of the biggest headlines coming out today. In the meantime, hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and let's get started. First and foremost, Elon Musk has officially announced his departure as a special government employee. Elon Musk wrote on X last night, quote, "As my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I would like to thank President Donald Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. The Doge mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government." Which Elon Musk officially stepping back from a government role means that Elon is stepping more into a Tesla role. And that is seen as positive for Tesla stock, especially ahead of the robotaxi launch, which is coming on June 12th. Elon Musk also confirms that Tesla has been testing self-driving Model Ys with no one in the driver's seat in Austin with no incidents, and that the first self-delivery from the factory to customers' houses will happen next month as well. Tesla has also just introduced a new $3,000 trade-in bonus in Australia for the Model 3 until June 30th. Now, Jensen Huang did an interview on what looks like maybe Bloomberg here, and says, quote, "We do a lot of business with Tesla and XAI. Elon is an extraordinary engineer. We're going to build many more computers together. His self-driving car, his Optimus bot, every single one of them, world-class and revolutionary. The Optimus opportunity is just around the corner. It's very likely that humanoid robots are going to be robots we can deploy into the world relatively easy. And this is the first robot that has a chance to achieve the high volume and technology scale to advanced technology. I think this is likely the next multi-trillion-dollar industry." Take a listen to this clip. It's about 1 minute long.
Optimus, or in the cars, the Omniverse component. Could you speak a little about that?
We do a lot of business with Tesla and XAI. Elon's as you know, is just an extraordinary engineer, and I love working with him. We've built some amazing computers together. We're going to build many more computers together. And the work that he's doing in Grok, his self-driving car, his Optimus, these are all, every single one of them world-class, every single one of them revolutionary, every single one of them are going to be gigantic opportunities. And we're delighted, I'm delighted to be working with him on that. And so I think the Optimus opportunity is just right around the corner. It's very likely that human robots are going to be robots that we can deploy into the world relatively easily. And this is the first robot that really has a chance to achieve the high volume and technology scale necessary to advance technology. And so I think this is likely to be the next multi-trillion-dollar industry. I'm very excited for him.
Jensen Huang really says that because it's one thing to create a prototype, create a couple robots. It's a completely different topic of discussion when you're talking about manufacturing them at mass and doing it profitably. That is just really not even a concept of thought for Boston Dynamics or any of the other humanoid robot competition at this point. Tesla is kind of the only company that can do it. Tesla has released a new statement opposing the removal of energy tax credits proposed in Trump's new bill. They say, quote, Abruptly ending the energy tax credits would threaten America's energy independence and the reliability of our grid. We urge the Senate to enact legislation with a sensible wind down of 25D and 48E. This will ensure continued speedy deployment of over 60 gigawatt capacity per year to support AI and domestic manufacturing growth. Elon furthermore comments that there is no change to tax incentives for oil and gas, just EVs and solar, which again doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, Jensen Huang also told Jim Cramer some more details and timelines, specifically in regards to robotics. Take a listen.
It's completely, robotics is definitely within the next 3 to 4 5 years. The technology works today. It's starting to work very well today. Now, once a technology becomes realized, becomes possible, it's only a couple of two, 3 ticks for an engineer to crank it and turn it into something that could be really scaled out in volume. And so self-driving cars are here, that we know. Robotics is going to be right around the corner. Robotic factories being built around the world. Yeah, this is the next great growth opportunity.
All right, so let's talk software.
It's completely, robotics is
Now, option activity today from hedge funds and institutions in Tesla definitely on the slow side today. You have 45 different trades so far, totaling $15.32 million with a positive order value of 77%. Okay, so pretty damn positive, just a really low dollar amount. We'll see if that changes towards the end of the day, but again, just a pretty slow day overall so far. You have 21,500 shares that are being sold short today on net. You have borrowed shares of 148,000 and return shares of 127,000. So that's how you get the net number of 21,000 shares there. Again, another pretty slow day overall. Short interest of free float sitting at 3.04%. The dollar amount sold short in Tesla at 30.42 billion, and the total amount of shares sold short at 85.23 million. So there is a lot of dry powder on the sidelines. This is a ticking time bomb in terms of a larger short squeeze for Tesla stock. And I think that is what ultimately is coming, although it could take, a couple days or a couple weeks. We don't know the exact timing, but I do think getting Nvidia earnings out the way, getting, this potential risk event out the way and seeing that it wasn't as bad as a lot of people feared is definitely a positive step in the right direction. Now, before we go ahead and get into all of your headlines of the day today, it was a pretty big day as far as economic data as well. GDP growth rate quarter over quarter, second estimate for Q1. Keep in mind, the first estimate was negative 0.3%. The second estimate, which came out today, was negative 0.2%. So not as bad as the first estimate, but still negative. You have corporate profits quarter over quarter coming in at negative 3.6%. Expectations were positive 5.9%. That's not exactly great. GDP price index came in at 3.7%, in line with expectations. Initial jobless claims did spike today to 240,000. They were expected at 230,000, and last week was 228,000. So that's maybe a little alarming to some people, but I think we'll have to just give it some time and see what happens there. Pending home sales month over month, negative 6.3%. Way worse than the estimated negative 0.9%. Pending home sales year over year came in at negative 2.5%. Estimate was negative 1.9%. So that was worse than expected as well. We also did get, let's see. Nope, we get that spending data coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow you're actually going to see quite a big data day as well, with core PCE month over month expected at 0.1% and personal income month over month expected at 0.3% and personal spending month over month expected at 0.2%. I think that personal spending number is going to be huge because people's spending money is like 70+% of this economy. You have to see people continue to spend or recession fears come about. labor market weakening fears come about. So I think tomorrow's data is actually very critical. Now, Canada's Prime Minister Carney says Canada is still being hit by unjustified U.S. tariffs on steel and autos, commenting on the judge's ruling last night of pausing the tariffs. And Canada's Prime Minister says that he welcomes a U.S. court ruling on tariffs. Iran says the U.S. desire to destroy Iran's nuclear sites is a fantasy. I don't think they're really talking about destroying the sites, just destroying the country, right? All of it. So Iran should be careful here. India's Trade Minister Goyal says India is well on track in trade discussions with the U.S. Japan's Prime Minister Ashiba says there is no change in the stance of creating a win-win relationship with the U.S. He also says that he discussed diplomacy, security, and the economy with Trump. And he says that he could visit the U.S. before the G7 summit if required. Japan's Prime Minister says the Japan side initiated the call with Trump this time, and that he thinks Trump and himself deepened their understanding. He says they had a 25-minute long phone conversation. And Japan's Prime Minister says we aim to create jobs through investments. Goldman Sachs CEO Waldron says there is less fiscal headroom in the world right now than in COVID. And he says that he expects the tariff court case to be heard by the Supreme Court. So basically, he's not expecting any dramatic change or clarity coming anytime soon. He also says that the U.S. economy and consumer is showing tremendous resilience. Trump's trade advisor Navarro says the Trump administration is not surprised by the trade court ruling. They were actually prepared for that. He says that the Trump administration has a number of different options on trade. And he says that deals are still going to happen. And Navarro said this on the trade court ruling, that nothing has really changed. And he says that there is no question there is an economic emergency. The White House senior advisor Hassett says there's basically 3 trade deals already done. And he expects more trade deals in the coming weeks. And he says that he is confident in the success of the tariff ruling appeals. And he believes the judge's decision on tariffs will be overturned. According to Redfin, there are 34% more sellers in the market than buyers. India's trade ministry official says that India and U.S. trade talks are progressing well and expects a good outcome soon. And China's vice premier says that China urges the U.S. to stop its wrongdoings on tariffs. China's foreign ministry on U.S. plans to revoke Chinese student visas says, quote, "We hope the U.S. can move in the same direction as China and do more constructive things." And China is urging the U.S. to stop discriminatory measures. And he says that China complained multiple times on U.S. chip export controls. Now, here on the day today, the percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average is moving higher, up about 3% today to 66.22%. CNN's Fear and Greed Index today coming in at 66, about in the midpoint of greed, so largely unchanged over the past couple of days. Market momentum, extreme fear. Stock price strength is greed. Stock price breadth, extreme greed. Put and call options, greed. Market volatility is neutral. Safe haven demand in extreme greed, and junk bond demand in extreme greed. And look at that. Our favorite contrarian indicator is back. Bullish investors coming in at 32.9%, neutral investors at 25.2%, and bearish investors at 41.9%. Bearish investors climbed about 5, almost 6% within the last week. Bullish investors fell about the same, and neutral investors fell about 0.5%. So, yeah, people are still very bearish out there. And as long as there's bears, there's room for markets to move higher. Now, today and after hours, you will have earnings from Marvell, Costco, Dell, Elastic, Zscaler, Ulta Beauty, Gap, American Eagle, Ambarella, and NetApp. So a lot of software. Some retailers like Ulta, Gap, American Eagle, even Costco will be important. AI names, Elastic, Dell, Marvell, Zscaler, more of that software, cybersecurity, but still has AI elements. So you are going to have some earnings still today and after hours that could be important. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down below in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, I do think the developments in the last 12 hours or so with Nvidia earnings, with the ruling from the courts, is again still a positive element for markets. I still think it continues to support stocks moving higher. So let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comment section. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Are you buying puts? Are you buying calls? Are you adding to your long-term positions? Let me know what you are doing down below in the comment section. Have a fantastic rest of your day nonetheless, and I will see you in the next one.